Hello, everybody. How are we doing? I am Sam. I'm a Caucasian male wearing a black jacket and a white shirt, black jeans, and some Chucks. And today, I'm here to talk to you about how GitHub views brand. Y'all ready? Design engineering is having its moment. If you're like me and you're on Design Twitter or Design X or whatever we're calling it, you've probably heard this too. But to me, as someone who's been at GitHub since 2019, design engineering's been having its moment for the better part of a decade. And that's really what allows this brand team to do what we do. We're a developer-first company, so even our brand practice is developer-first. And it's no coincidence that developers love this brand. In fact, there might be a few Mona tattoos in the building here tonight, so if you have one, let's see it later. But the brand really grew from this audacious, do-it-yourself culture that's alive and well with the team today. We like to say that our brand was built on inspectable, pop-the-hood moments and telling the stories behind how things were made. Like this Flappy Mona game produced by Cameron Foxley in our brand studio, which, by the way, is soon to be released as an Easter egg in our mobile app, so good luck finding it. He delivers a delightful brand experience and shows us how it's constructed. He shows us the performant character animations where he used simple sprite sheets. We started calling this the nerd nod. And spoiler alert, Figma plays a major role in helping us make that happen with GitHub. Our team is ambitious. We have big ideas and the technical skills to design, build, or animate pretty much anything we can dream up. And for a long time, this allowed us to spike in a bunch of different directions. But as the company's grown, so have we as a team. We found new ways to harness that audacity and scale that spirit without stifling it, to treat brand more like a product, or in our case, a series of small products and features. So today, I want to share what makes this possible in a few quick lessons, and then I want to share a few examples of the work. Lesson 1, what's your hammer? To the person with a hammer, every problem is a nail. That's paraphrasing a little bit, I think, but we've probably all heard this quote in some form before. And when hiring, Andrew Wilkinson, who you might be familiar with, who's the founder of MetaLab and Tiny, he tries to understand a candidate's hammer. It's the strength they lean on to solve problems. And like many brand teams, our hammer was craft excellence and tenacity. When facing a challenge, we'd often lean on skill or brute force to solve it. The design org here at GitHub, on the other hand, has a different hammer. Design systems, with a very deep history of integrated design engineering. So for us, understanding those collective strengths allowed us to better organize ourselves and change the way we worked as a team. Which brings us to lesson 2. Centralize and generalize. Open source culture has always embraced generalists, people that can do it themselves and do a few things really well. Our team embraces that too. We have a centralized brand studio team, site design, and design engineering functions all sitting on one team. And as a result, design engineers are directly involved in shaping the brand experience, and designers are directly involved in bringing brand expression to engineering efforts. This allows us to move quickly and to scale. In fact, we have our very own slice of Primer called Primer Brand, just for brand and marketing efforts. And as we've grown, I've really come to appreciate just how unique this is and how lucky we are to be able to dream ideas and build them all on the same team. Okay, lesson 3. Better ingredients, fewer recipes, Papa John's. I realized during rehearsal that it's very close to Papa John's tagline, so whatever. While our design system has all the ingredients you'd expect, we also focus energy on bringing systems to unexpected places. Places like our Monomoji set or our character copilot. You can see that system's thinking and use of color applied to things like lighting, render style, and ultimately to things like animation. And Figma's component and variant architecture allows us to leverage these ingredients in ways that we never would have imagined a few years ago, which takes us to the final lesson. Build it yourself. This one's pretty self-explanatory, I think. As a result of our culture and the way we're organized, we like to build things ourselves using Figma and GitHub. This helps us deliver the nerd nod I mentioned earlier, to think in terms of products, not just projects, and to embrace that audacity that our developer audience loves. And I could go on all day long about our work and our team, but this is a lightning talk, so I'm going to go pretty quick, so stay with me here. Let's start with Mona Sans and Hubot Sans. Spearheaded by Toby on our design engineering team, we were early adopters of Figma's support for variable fonts. And starting a year or so before that, we were trying to find ways to add brand expression to our sites and to our type while reducing load time. Enter variable fonts. Our team ultimately shaped and released 2 variable font families called Mona Sans and Hubot Sans. They're open source, they're performant, they're soon to be available in Google Suite, so stay tuned. And we used Figma every step of the way to conduct discovery, to test releases, to experiment with these 2 font families. Just this past week, we were using Figma to bring more character and distinction between the 2, and we're excited to show you that in the next couple weeks. If you're interested in playing with them, they're free, so go here, check them out, and show us what you make. All right, next up, the BAM asset generator. So after a hack week and a simple question, how might we empower marketers to produce and edit their own social content? Joby from our brand studio and Reza from design engineering set out to build the asset generator, an in-browser, on-demand content tool. We used FigJam to set the product vision and Figma to design the product itself. In recent releases, we actually used dev mode to help translate pixels to code as well. This tool is still pretty early in its life, but it's already transformed the way we deliver static social content. And next on the roadmap is actually adding support for motion and animation, which takes us to the next example that I'm excited to show you. Our WebGL Studio. So imagine this integrated with what you just saw. To extend the functionality of our asset generator, the team began taking a deep dive into WebGL. Masaki and Toby on our design engineering team are experimenting with our brand shape language. They're working to bring it to life in more expressive and interactive ways where everything's being rendered in the browser. Our team used Figma to illustrate the assets, Blender to build in 3D, and the WebGL Studio itself for preview. Lots more to come here, so stay tuned. And finally, I want to give you one more example, a sneak peek into this year's Universe branding, which, for those of you that don't know, is our annual developer conference. I'm only showing you a piece because I can't show you everything, but check it out. This project perfectly reflects everything we've discussed today. It started with an audacious idea, the World's Fair of software, and a theme, from this to that. Everything you're about to see is still a work in progress, so bear with me. We started the journey in Figma with our partner Buck, developing the initial brief, the mood boards, early concepts. As the brand began to take shape, we quickly broke out into different work streams, from animation and site design to IRL signage and swag. Again, this is still in development. You're seeing work that we're doing right now, but it gives you a sense as to how a brand here comes together while multiple technical teams are exploring in tandem. So stay tuned for much more here and expect a lot of that nerd nod. So what can you walk away with? Well, first, design engineering has been having its moment here at GitHub for a long time. And that's made possible by the way we view the role itself. I think you're seeing firsthand what a bunch of curious generalists with Figma and GitHub accounts are capable of. So if you're a designer, you're an engineer, you're an animator, try dipping your toes into some of the other crafts. sometimes being audacious and a little ignorant of the rules leads to really cool and unexpected places. And at minimum, you get to nerd out and learn something new with your friends. All right, that's it for me. Thank you.